Max Trinity's Metaphysics for Suicide Prevention, Part 2, The 7 Cardinal Tasks of Adolescence. The quest begins. Adolescence is characterized by the same compelling feeling as a great quest, because it is a great quest. The beginning of adolescence marks the stage when we take the reins of our own life and is our apprenticeship to adulthood. In ancient schools of mystery, the adolescent was referred to as the initiate, and the adult phase was referred to as adept or elder. The initiate is to undergo certain rituals such as the Aboriginal walkabout, or the Bwiti Ibaga initiation, or the 360-day rite of passage in the Egyptian School of Mysteries. The underlying theme of all these rites is that you lay down the old life, the childhood, and become a new person. Part of being a new person includes starting at a new beginning where there is virtually everything to learn. It also means a complete change in the way you feel, think, and act in the world. The change from child to adult is a quantum leap, and adolescence is the personal, direct experience of that leap. In this quest we run many gauntlets, face many demons, lose and find our heart, experience the extremes of feeling and challenge, experiment with our whole being and nature, have the rawest direct contact with others that we will ever have, and discover more secrets than anyone can ever tell. All of these activities of the quest serve to literally stretch your mind and soul, to integrate your personal vision with an expanded sense of your own being and existence, as well as a greater and more eternal view of humanity, who we are, and what we are doing with our lives. That's a tall order, and for the last few centuries we in the Western world of thought have been attempting to accomplish this ginormous trek with no maps and no real guides. In fact, Western culture in recent eras, about the last 400 years, has consistently and in escalating fashion crippled its adolescence and warped this epic time into some prolonged petulant childhood. This has created a great disadvantage because it's literally meant throwing your kids in that great gulf with no directions and no fucking swimming lessons. There you go, sink or swim. Not much I can tell you. It's rough. I hope you make it. Love you. The losses have been devastating and the damage immense. We've created way more than 7 generations of humans who are extremely traumatized and at a place of incredible loss and collective failure. We are scarred mostly by the overwhelming sense of not being enough. Looking at the horrifying numbers of children we're losing to adolescent suicide, I'd say we as humans have hit a collective rock bottom. Here's the upside. We're some tough bastards, those of us who have survived these perilous times, and those of us who did it with eyes wide open and managed not to be blinded by all the bullshit are equally not afraid to enter a new phase of healing, of rehab and recovery, and ultimately to serve by sharing what we've learned in our own first-hand experiences. When you hit bottom, the only direction left is up. Just as there are downward spirals, there are upward spirals as well, and we stand as humanity at the threshold of a vast and mutual upward spiral, which means it's time for radical change. It's time for real reflection and course correction. It's time to form society structured to our nature instead of trying to conform our nature to social programming. Culture is a human domain. All humans contribute to culture, so as human perspectives shift, so does human culture. It's time for a major shift, and this material is part of the move towards greater awareness of our own intrinsic design, foreknowledge of the quest, and all the equipment you need to make the journey with confidence, with courage, with humility and a pure heart, and a sure foundation and most of all, in your own dazzling and never to be repeated, unique, self-styled way. Welcome to it. Welcome to your time. This is an overview of the 7 cardinal tasks of adolescence. The lover task. The task of the lover is to learn through direct experience the power of love, intimacy, and sexuality. To learn in real time what our lover identity is and what our unique experience is to be as a lover. We do this through experiment, and we learn as much from our mistakes as we do from our quite accidental successes. Our self-image as a lover will color our whole life experience with the shades of all of our interactions and every relationship we ever have. The warrior task. The task of the warrior is to take control of the context of your personal life story, to develop your core identity by finding out what means the most to you. Through direct experience, you discover in real time what you would fight and die for, what you would sacrifice your time and energy for. You discover firsthand what means most to you, and those meanings become the core context of your personal story and the core identity that reflects the most genuine expression of your heart. You learn all of this in battle scenarios set up by your own soul from its intimate knowing of and interest in your personality and personal journey. You can trust your own soul. You can trust that the battles, won and lost, teach you what means most to you. You can trust yourself to see these things, and you can trust your journey. The tornado task. Learning to steer the tornado is your real-time experience with learning how to steer your personal focus of attention. Your personal focus of attention has the power to influence every aspect of your life. It's your main interface with all that is available, an individual free choice. The training for directing your own focus of attention occurs in an arena of powerful influences and momentous life events in a great tumultuous storm of the most extreme and dramatic emotion you'll ever experience as a person. You can only learn to steer through the storms by going through storms. You can only learn to steer the tornado itself when you realize that you're not a victim of the storm, you're a student of it. It will teach you how to direct your focus of attention under any and all circumstances. That is the primary objective of this task. The fellowship task. The task of fellowship is to learn through direct experience the power and depth and reach of friendship. Friendship is the highest known form of human relating and is the basis of our most intimate and deep relationships. It's a very big deal. The task of reflection. The task of reflection is to gain skill through real-time experience with the larger rhythms of life that ebb between living in the swift flow of life and resting on the shore. Shore time is for reflection, for savoring and reminiscing at a relaxed and random, undemanding pace. Reflection is the skill that allows you to learn from your experience and be inspired to apply new ideas and new views. It's also your direct connection to other times, places, and stories. The paradox task. The paradox task is to learn through direct experience how to be comfortable in the paradoxical state of your expanded existence. This perspective is easy to see but challenging to adopt when duality has been your dominating perspective for all of your known life. It's the key to the funny bone of life because paradox is kind of the royalty of irony, and irony can be found in all corners of human existence and experience. Yeah, irony is everywhere. You can count on it. Paradox teaches us our most expanded sense of comfort and humor. It is hands down the funnest task and has very little backlash, just a lot of getting used to feeling disconcerted and momentarily confused is all. When it comes to rough times, paradox can be a surprisingly powerful influence for calm. The motto of paradox is this: it's not either this or that. It's both this and that. It's good stuff. The surfer task. The task of the surfer is to bring the warrior to rest, to carry the soldier home, and to quote Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce, to fight no more forever. The surfer carries no weapon nor shield. The surfer comes naked, with only their experience and all the other tasks, and surfs the great waves of life with skill and delight. The surfer is the adult human being that the adolescents set aim for when they jumped into the great gulf. The surfer does not kill off the warrior, only retires the fighter to veteran status. And the veteran melds into the surfer as a shimmering star of the soul's experience of the quest. From the surfer stage of development, anything is truly possible, and every act and experience is intentional and desired. Prevention. By now you can see that this is not a weekend course or a 9-week program, or a matter for intellectual entertainment. This is a metaphysical model for living. It's a way to live and a framework to interpret your personal experiences through. Once you adopt this particular mindset of the quest, you'll be creating your own fail-safe at the same time. This view gives your personal story an incredible depth of meaning and direction. It also gives you an abiding sense of satisfaction and richness in all your personal experiences. When you are experiencing your life and story from the metaphysical perspective, thoughts of suicide do not arise. Metaphysics gives you a platform to thrive from, and thriving does not lend itself to suicide. Not only that, but when we human types are thriving, we are far from any mindset of self-harming, be it direct harm to the self through addictions or hateful self-talk, or the indirect self-harming of martyrdom and overzealous self-denial. These behaviors just don't present in an environment of healthy self-love. In an environment of healthy self-love, there is so much meaning and depth that there is plenty of room for the individual to move about, room to fling the mind into far-reaching new thoughts, room to feel without fear of being annihilated by emotion, and room to trip the light fantastic with your own soul. The best prevention is to live in such a way that suicide never even comes up, to live in accordance with your own genuine self. To feel a sense of purpose in every day and experience you're having brings goodness to your personal life story, and a good life is one that you're glad to keep living. There's a common thread in most suicides, and it's this. Most people take themselves out because they have gotten stuck in chronic emotional pain. This kind of pain shows us all firsthand the power of emotion. Depression, discouragement, rejection, despair, and sorrow can feel like they're killing you. It's not just about brain chemistry. The brain chemistry is a symptom that arises from our personal focus of attention getting stuck in painful perspectives. When our focus gets stuck like that, then our whole perception of life is shadowed by a thief. All of our potential for a happy and engaged life gets sucked up by this ever-present pain. Learning to honor the power of emotion and the skill to shift our focus amidst our most intense feelings will save our lives should we find ourselves mired in depression and despair. We test ourselves in this life, and sometimes, lots of times really, we bite off more than we can chew. We go too far. But when we know that we can change the direction of our focus by shifting to a different meaning, then we can always find our way back to center. We can know from self-testing that whatever we get ourselves into, we can get ourselves out of. A deep sense of self-reliance is the best fail-safe because, as someone once said, wherever you go, there you are. It's so very good to know that you can rely on yourself, that you can be your own ally, and that you can, above all, trust yourself. Metaphysics gives you a broad base of context to build your story and create your personal experiences in. It's big enough to hold anything you can dream up because it includes your whole soul. Be ready to know yourself better than ever before, and at the same time to surprise the living shit out of yourself over and over again. That's part of the paradox and the sheer fun of living as a human being in a physical world. And so, the quest begins. Watch Part 3, The Lover Task. Peace.